You're now recording.
Okay, welcome to the Town of Olive Town Board meeting for Tuesday, April 13th, 2021 via Zoom. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Give me a sec to get my flag up.
Get the flag up so we can salute to that. You don't have to.
Even got a flag. I forgot to get it up on my screen.
Uh-oh. No flag? Okay, Scott,
sorry.
why don't you take us out?
I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to the
to the
flag
flag
of the United
United
States
States of America,
and to the republic for which it
which it
stands,
stands,
one
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 nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
with
liberty,
liberty,
justice
and
Justice
justice for all.
for all. Thank you, everyone. All right, everybody settled in. Dawn, would you please do the roll call?
Board Member Bogus,
I'm here.
Board Member Kelder,
I'm here.
Board Member Edinger.
Here.
Board Member Reed,
Here,
Supervisor Sefranco.
Here. All right, we're running through it now. You all had a chance to look at the March minutes. There were a couple additions on that, right? Dawn, did we make some changes on it?
You made some changes. I made the corrections.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes? please?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes as amended.
I'll second.
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Great. Go through some correspondence we got. We got a letter from Linda Edmondson regarding she's from Shokan, regarding the Shokan pump storage project, voicing her opposition to the project. We got a letter from Gregory Keys on the Lower Sailor Mill Farm development, expressing concern over the upcoming SECRA declaration and what that would mean. We got a resignation letter, email from Helene Grant. She resigned from the planning board, and we have placed a notice on the town website that we are looking for a member to replace her on the planning board.
This is where you want to make your motion, Drew? Drew want to make his motion to send a
Oh.
letter to?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to send Helene a thank you letter for all
I
of her.
will second that
It's-
motion.
I think it's 13 years of service maybe, or is it 14?
I think I want to say she started in 2012.
No, January 1st, 2007.
Okay, it could be. I have to go back on my sheet and look.
She started the same year I did.
That's great. Well, we
That'd be
appreciate that
14
service to the town. All right, so all in favor of sending a letter?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposed, I presume. We got a letter from Rick Coombe, who is the chairman of the Coalition of Watershed Towns, just updating us on what their activities have been. And with the new bill for the year, they raised their fees this year to $1,500 a year. I don't think they have much opportunity to raise money to keep them going as an organization, and they are a valuable resource to the watershed towns. We also received a letter from Assemblyman Kevin Cahill. It was a response to the town resolution number 27 of 2020, supporting the return of behavioral health and detox services to be returned to Mary's Avenue campus. So he was acknowledging our correspondence and in agreement with that. We need to approve a payment of audited bills, general fund vouchers 95 through 148 for $212,052.97. for highway fund vouchers number 54 through number 79 for $9,039.92. Special lighting voucher number 3 for $69.43. And sewer fund vouchers number 17043 through 17055 for $35,835.67. Do I have a motion to approve those audited bills?
Make the motion to approve them.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Great, we're moving right along. Cash received in February 2021 was $2,892,421.12. And the interest received for February 2021 was $914.40.
Janice just wanted me to say that that was the balance of the taxes. That's why it's so much,
Yeah, and it was. the city tax.
obviously, but she said in case somebody wanted to know that it, to tell them that it was a tax month.
Right. Great.
We could put out that in the bills paid. The reason the general fund was so much was the ambulance squad was in there.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Resolution number 10. I kind of threw this at you today. I was working on this yesterday and didn't think I'd get it. I got it on my desk late in the afternoon and didn't know if I'd have time to finish it up today. But Sierra helped me with it. And this is, we wanted to institute using the Easy Pass for the vehicles in the town. It's mostly used by the highway department. Occasionally, we use it for Gene or somebody in the Parks or Rec facilities. And we need to have a policy. So I've sent you all the policy, which kind of outlines like that the secretary to the highway department will be responsible for holding on to the tags, for holding on to maintaining a log of the tags going in and out, and maintaining the account to make sure it's paid in full as needed and replenished as needed and so forth. That's all spelled out in the policy. So I'd like to bring forth resolution number 10 of 2021, a resolution adopting a policy for using the Easy Pass toll system. Whereas the town of Olive has occasional need to use roads and bridges that require payment of a toll collection system. And whereas the toll collection system used in the state of New York and surrounding states is the Easy Pass toll collection system. And whereas the town of Olive needs to establish the protocols necessary to properly manage the Easy Pass account, Easy Pass vehicle tags, and Easy Pass log. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board on behalf of the town of Olive, adopt the town of Olive Easy Pass policy. That's got to be the easiest resolution I ever wrote. Okay.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Do the police also use the towns, or do they have their own, or do they not really have much need
They don't have
for
much
training
need.
or anything like that?
They don't go out of town much except for neighboring towns to assist.
I have a crazy question.
Sure.
So with the removal of tolls to begin with, is this really necessary to even have Easy Pass for the amount of time we travel on?
It is because they charge an additional fee if you don't have these Easy Pass. And then I think there might be taxes on it. It gets really ridiculous
Right.
of why we can't do it that way. That little arcane law of what we can pay or not pay, which we spend countless hours discussing. Any other questions, comments?
You made the motion, right?
I made I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 10 of 2021. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Dawn, can you do the roll call, please?
Board Member Bogus,
Yes.
Board Member Edinger,
Yes.
Board Member Kelder,
Yes.
Board Member Reed,
Yes.
Supervisor Sefranco.
Yes. Boy, I was worried.
And I will change that on that resolution before I finish it, so it includes I didn't get a chance to do that today. So
It includes what?
who made the motion and who didn't, and who seconded it.
Oh, okay, all right.
And then you
Thank
got
you.
my order all messed up.
Yeah, I was wondering if I got promoted or something.
Yeah, my order's all messed up. It's how you guys sit. When we ever get back there, then I'll know how to do
I was hoping I was getting fired.
it.
Scott, just to reflect on that also, there is a couple of dollar surcharge for every transaction each way, which adds up, and that's kind of spurred this quite some time ago, and it was kind of brought to our most recent billing from the throughway and whatnot. It's each direction, I think it's $2 or something, and it could be just a trip to Saugerties for 50 cents, and then you get $2 each direction, and it certainly over time, I think with breakdowns and whatnot, I said the highway is probably the most used just because of where our vendors are, so I think out of everybody, it would probably be highway that is utilizing this the most. And this is, we brought this up some time ago, and we're just trying to get in. And I think moving forward where things are at with Easy Pass, I think it's just cost effective for this at this point in time.
Okay. Any other discussion on Easy Pass?
It was certainly a straightforward resolution.
I was like, I didn't even know what to put in it. I was trying to come up with like more. I don't have enough whereases. Okay, the next item on the agenda is to approve cameras for Davis Park. We looked at this in the fall after we had vandalism at the pool and decided that we could use a security system, camera system at the Davis Park. So we went out and looked at 2 different vendors, and last year we were happy with Rest Assured, and they came back and looked at it, and they're going to make a little modification to where they put a camera to, and but they will come in under the $5,385 of the cost that they gave us, the price that they gave us last year. Then I did ask the questions that were asked last night. There is no monthly fee, and it is suggested, it might be even law, that we have signs up for the public to know that they are under video surveillance. And Gene and I discussed that, and that will be something separate we'll get to meet the needs of the law for that. So I make a motion that we authorize the supervisor to move forward on the proposal given to us by Rest Assured Alarms for the cameras in Davis Park for the to be no more than $5,385. Do I have a second for that?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Oh, we're
Did they
doing-
say how soon they'd be able to get those in?
Well, we didn't have that discussion,
Right.
but we'll get on their, we'll get on their list. Next item on the agenda is Mountain Valley Little League and the football, onto our youth football league. They both have submitted their COVID plans, their safety plans on how to do their operations and maintain what's required by the state and county. And it all seemed to be pretty well flushed out. And they were excited to start as soon as possible. So I'd like to make a motion, and I did let them start this past weekend when we had a little brief, nice weather there on Saturday. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the use of town facilities by Mountain Valley Little League and the Ontario Youth Football League for 2021. Do
I'll
I
second.
have a second?
I'll second it.
There you go. All in favor?
Aye.
Unopposed? So carried. I also just want to bring up one other thing that I will be. Oh, you know what? We missed something here, Dawn. Unless I missed it.
What?
Did I send you guys the 284?
Yes,
Yes,
Yeah.
it's next on the list.
yep.
Oh, it is. Okay. I'm sorry. I already crossed it off. Boy, oh boy. This is too easy. So Brian, on an annual basis, has to have an agreement for the expenditure of highway monies in section 284. So of highway law. So I guess you all had a chance to look over that. Brian, do you have any comments on that?
No, the only thing I want to say, and this, I'll be honest with you, is going to be probably the first year that we will revisit this 284 upon town board approval. This can be adjusted throughout the year. We finally, last year, in reflection of our CHIPS allowance, there was 20% withheld of our standard CHIPS last year, and it is being reinstituted at this time, and as well as an increase abroad within our standard CHIPS. Paved New York, which I did not budget for because it was one of them unknown. Extreme winter recovery is another one that is unknown based on the winter, but all of them are being increased, as I'm told of just recent within days. I have a highway meeting this Thursday that is going to be discussed in depth, and I'll be honest with you, I'll probably end up sending the board an email prior to next month, but I'm going to be revisiting this because there's going to be additional money available through CHIPS program this year to continue addressing our roads, and this is fantastic based on what's going on here in the past year. And but anyway, basically what I have in the preliminary, I'll call it preliminary, but it's in the 284 at this time, is basically a continuation of last year in roads that I had set for the budget. And moving on, I'm going to have a couple additional roads that hopefully we can address that are in shambles, and utilize this money in a good fashion here, and continue moving in a good direction. So as far as the board goes, I'll be in contact with all of you prior to next month, but there's going to be an additional probably an amendment to this 284 as of next month again.
Okay. All right, Brian, I have a quick question.
Sure.
I see you're going to pave, I think it's 1.3 miles of Mill Road.
Yes.
Originally, you were planning on putting that off until they got the 213 bridge done. I gather
Correct.
you're not going to hold your breath for that getting done anytime soon.
I'm going to let you, the whole board know where that's at. I kind of had to draw the line last year. I did a true and leveling course on Mill in the lower part of Acorn Hill Road to bring it up to spec, so to speak, to get through the winter here. And I had intentions of topping it this upcoming year. This has been in the works. Just to reflect back, the 213 bridge, this has been going on since I think 1994.
I was gonna say it's a long time.
Yeah, I think 1994, and they've had a lot of hardship. I know the county's been working through just with a new design and close proximity of house foundation, so on and so forth. And I've had numerous conversations since I've been in this capacity with officials with the county, and it is moving forward. I was hoping 2 years ago it was going to happen. It did not, and I had to make a decision, and there was a kind of a gentleman's agreement with the county assisting us with resurfacing that road for years, and it's the county has outlined it that Mill Road will not be a detour road, but we all know this is the quickest route
Right.
once that bridge is under construction, because as I see it, there is no room for a second cross, a temporary crossing there at all with the confinement. So they have advised me that there's going to be detours posted for county roads, but we know everybody's going to skip through Mill and in the lower part of Acorn Hill and back around the lower part of the reservoir. But anyway, long story short, I've had conversations in the past couple of years with county officials with assisting us through shared services for resurfacing of Mill Road and helping us out in that capacity. And I feel strongly that they are going to assist us in this matter this year. I'm going to have a conversation this coming week as far as scheduling goes. We're kind of at that time right now to get our preliminary schedule set, and it all revolves around weather and whatnot. But I feel strongly that the county is going to assist us in a matter of supplying trucks to haul, which is going to be a reduction in the expense of paving this road. And that money we can put forth to another road as well. And I'm pretty confident right now
Good.
that we'll have some great assistance from Ulster County through shared services on this project.
Good.
Okay, good.
Do you, is that 213 bridge even on their calendar? Is it?
It's in the capital budget for this year. That
It
doesn't
is.
mean they'll do it.
Yeah.
It could have been on the capital budget since 94.
I was gonna say, I know it's been in the capital budget the last 2 years, so this is
Yes.
now the third year.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't know
like I
about
said,
before
just to reflect back to 2 years, it was supposed to take off, and I know there was property issues that were unsettled, and to my knowledge, it's coming, and it may be next. Who knows? You know, I said we've been in this position. I think back to Bobby Bruckner and Jimmy Fugel. Everybody's been a part of this, and I'm hoping for everybody's safety that it does get addressed. But in Limelight, as far as the Mill Road condition, it was I had to do something. And
I know somebody 20 years ago was looking at the Tongor store there to to rent. And they didn't back then because they thought the bridge was going to happen that year and the next year.
Right.
They didn't want to be on that, dead end there. And so that place might suffer for that too.
And I remember
All right.
endless meetings in the fire department of its imminent closure and having to figure
Right.
out some other way around.
Right.
No.
Okay.
I'll second your motion there, Jim. I don't think we had a second.
I don't think we did. And,
I don't think you made an actual motion yet.
All right,
Oh.
I'd like to make the motion that we approve for the expenditure of the highway monies between the town superintendent and the town board. Is that what that's saying? The highway superintendent should be, right?
I'll second it.
As written, let's put it that way. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you. I do have one little thing I want to add here at the bottom is I will submit to Dawn the correspondence. Let's put it this way. I'm gonna document the hydro pump storage project and kind of condense what I can and give Dawn some of the record, like our response to the proposal, and I'll also submit the proposal itself. So we have that on record if we ever need to refer in the future as
God
to what
bless.
issues were in it and what issues were raised and what we saw. So we have a document of that. I think it'd be worth it after doing that crazy amount of work. So just wanted to bring that up. Committees, commissions, and department reports. Cable franchise, we haven't met. We don't plan to meet. We're really starting to winnow down the areas in town that are not covered with cable. They're getting smaller and smaller with the build out that we recently had on County Route 3 and Hannah Lane in that area. And they have been energized, is my understanding. So that's really good because that was a fair number of houses. That was the largest stretch of unserved area in the town for the longest period of time. So having gotten that done and Brown Road last year, we're really looking in good shape. I will say that I did raise the issue of build out with our Spectrum rep because I know when we get, if we get money from the feds and the state for the pandemic, one of the things we can use it out is for broadband build out. But I do want to get that number from her. I don't know if we necessarily want to spend our money on it or if there's money coming from other sources to spend it on that. But it would be one thing that's at least on my radar to use to complete build out in the town. I think it would be good for everyone in the town to have that.
Is there anything we can do to work on the quality and reliability? That's the next step.
What's the liability? What do you mean?
Reliability
Oh, reliability.
of people who are down for half a day at a time, like regularly. And
So,
we were today.
over in Scott's neighborhood, you
Like
can see Scott's got such great connection now.
I do. It worked out great.
And so, it sounds better than it did last time. But I did receive a letter an email from someone asking us what we could do. And I did reach out to the county, to the government rep at Charter Spectrum. And she responded very quickly. And Scott said there have been Spectrum trucks all over there recently. So it's being addressed. And what I suggest to anyone who has difficulty in their area is what this neighbor of Scott's did, which was to document every outage and problem you have, document your call to Charter Spectrum and keep a log of all that. And then when you come to the town board or to me and I can try to resolve it, that's always a good first step because that's what they ask usually. What I've found is they say, well, how do we know this isn't just one person complaining? Do you have a document of the times and dates? And because then they look at it and they see if there were other underlying conditions that might be something they've been working on nearby or something like that. So they need to kind of get that information as well. So they've been responsive, at least in this last instance.
Jim, one quick thing on that. With the county planning board last week, someone asked the Dennis Doyle if there was any plans for the county to spend their chunk of money coming from the federal rescue plan on expanding broadband in the county. And Dennis has basically said that roughly only 2% of the county doesn't have broadband access. So it's highly unlikely the county will do anything with that. I'm assuming he's talking about 2% of households. I'm not sure, but I thought that was kind of a low number, but.
No, I remember years ago when I was on the cable committee and we were we mapped out the entire town. We had every utility pole marked where it ended, where it started. And we have actually I have to update it a little since the new build out, but we have a very concise mapping in our town. The county at that time, this was several years ago, asked the towns to provide mapping to them and they would advocate for the towns. And we submitted ours and a few other towns and they did some looking into it themselves and they gave it to a mapping person. And, we spent a fair amount of time working with the county and nothing ever resulted in that.
Right.
But one of the things that came up in that was something like that. It was like at the time, 2.5%, and that's always the problem that we face in the way they look at it. They look at these things like, well, what are you guys complaining about? You only have 2% of the county isn't built out. But, that doesn't matter to the people that don't have internet.
Right.
It really doesn't matter. So when they look at it more regionally, they look at, what are you guys complaining about? The town of Olive, you're 98% built out. We are something up in the high 90s like that. they said, we have towns in Delaware County and Greene County that have 20% build out. They're going to get that first. So that's the problem we have in this. And that's why I asked for the build out number, so that when we see what funding's available, that money is going to go to those places that are underserved, more underserved than we are. And we might just want to spend our money on it. We might find that that money is very restricted for certain use. And this might be one of them that we can spend it on. So we'll take a look at it when we see what the parameters of that spending are and what, if I can get a number out of Spectrum. Okay. Anything else on cable? Mr. Kelder, you're up next.
Yeah, Parks and Rec, we did not meet due to some scheduling conflicts. I see Gino's on a call. I don't know if he wants to jump in, but I'll give you the best thought of what's happening out there. I saw some headlines today where the New York State gave some guidelines on day camp, but I haven't looked into it. So I think that's getting closer to maybe some regulations and some thoughts on how we can make it happen. Biggest thing with day camp this year is we lost our leader, Veronica. I said at this point, she is not returning. So Gene and I have reached out to a few people to possibly fill that position. The two I reached out to said no. So if somebody knows a quality person that can lead a group of young counselors and handle a bunch of happy summer kids, send them our way. We talked about sports. They're up and running. Pool, we do have our head lifeguard, Ryan Wright's coming back. And we think we're going to do okay on lifeguards. I believe all the parks are open, but I'll defer to Gino on that. And waiting on an update on the tennis courts being coated and lined. So that's what I got, unless Gino wants to add something on here.
Well, the only thing I'll add is the parks are open, other than the bathrooms, and I mentioned the gym today. All goes well, the bathrooms will be fully operational early next week. So then the parks will be 100% open. The removal of the playground equipment, Brian lent me some manpower and some machinery. So the West Shokan playground is usable with the portion that was not damaged and the swing sets. I filled in the holes, we raked out the gravel. So it's a safe environment for the people to use, even though it's a little less than what was there. We're painting the swing set structure now, so it's getting a little facelift to match our new equipment. The vendor did send us a ship date, so I don't know if Jim shared with you, it should be here around May 5th. And we are targeting May 15th for completion and ready to use. Another tagline, I spoke to the blacktop tennis court vendor today. With the weather a little erratic, he's going to hold off until the first part of May. We got some 35-degree nights coming up. We got some rain, we got some sleet and snow. So that right now is targeted for the early part of May, and obviously it's weather permitting. So nothing's going to happen in the month of April with the tennis courts at all. The pool has been uncovered. Jimmy returns to work the next day or so. I'll be working with him as well as Carl, and we'll start hooking up all the plumbing and get the water moving, because we're trying to do it earlier to avoid the buildup of algae in the pool, which obviously takes a lot of time to clear up. So it's uncovered, looks great, survived the winter. We won't have to buy any water this year. We didn't drain too much, and Mother Nature dumped a lot of snow and rain back in on March, so we're in pretty good shape there. And as Scott mentioned, I've talked to the Board of Health 3 times in the last 5 days, and as of yesterday, there was no guidance. So if there's an update that there is, hopefully I'll get it. And then this group on the call, as well as the rec committee, I think we have to look at it, and hopefully it's favorable where we can, in fact, offer camp. The opinion of our Board of Health rep out of Ulster County was she was getting the feedback from the state that it was going to be similar to last year, which is unfortunate because that was very stringent last year. So we'll have to see, and we'll go from there. I'm going to meet with the transportation vendor tomorrow to see what in fact restrictions are for transportation, because I know they're transporting children, but as we all know, they're only taking a portion of the children daily. And I don't know if I would need to do something different. So that's another factor I'm hoping to get some information on tomorrow as well. Other than that, that's it. Things are going well for recreation for now. You know, weather gets better, we'll keep moving forward and hopefully have an enjoyable summer.
I just wanted to, I just saw a comment on a Facebook about the Davis Park playground, that the playground at Grant Avery was aging and dangerous. It's been a couple years since I've been out there, but I don't remember it being in particularly bad shape. But I just wanted to put that comment out there, as it was.
Yeah, I'm a little
Made.
surprised that somebody would say dangerous. It was built, Dawn and I did the research. It was built the same time as West Showcans, 1994. You know, I look at it on a regular basis. I don't see any broken or damaged equipment. It's not as elaborate as what we're getting. I don't know if that's why that came up, because if you look at the poster I put up as a playground, it's, you know, it's unique, it's fun and everything else. So I'd be curious on why somebody thinks it's dangerous. That catches my ear the most. It's
Yeah.
dangerous. Outdated, I'm not going to argue with. You know, it's 27, 28 years old.
Let me see if I can find that comment and
Yeah, I
see
would
if I can get any
challenge
more.
that where it's dangerous because, you know, I don't think it's dangerous at all.
Right. You know, Facebook people put stuff out there that's a
Yeah.
little over the top.
It's gotta be true. It's on Facebook then.
Yeah, but with that, you know, maybe if there is a concern about the playground equipment, like the group that was closer to using Davis Park, maybe there is a group that maybe wants to help fundraise, design, and we can work towards budgeting that playground in future budget.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you know, we don't have the space in Shokan as we do in West Shokan, but you certainly could upgrade it and do something. We all know that it's going to cost anywhere from $40,000 to $60,000. And to Scott's point, it's either budgeted or a fundraising event.
I'll see what I can find out.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that, Dave. Let me know.
You know, and we were also surprised at how, you know, how long that equipment that we put in Davis Park lasted. And if it was put in at the same time, it was in pretty good shape for being as old as it was. Okay, Mr. Burns, Highway Department report. I did want to mention this because I keep forgetting to tell you that I have a contact for C. Wakamano.
I did reach out. I don't know if I think you were copied on that email yesterday. I'm not quite certain. Sierra sent it out yesterday afternoon. I did look at the complaint that we did have there with the new C. Wakamano sign on the corner of Bostock and Route 28. It is within inches of the proximity of the old sign post is where that was erected. However, the new sign may be a little bit larger in size. In my truck, there wasn't a sight distance issue. However, in a passenger car, I definitely can see how that would impede sight looking westbound on Route 28 there. I did contact Nicole, I don't remember her last name, from the YMCA, and she was heading up there today to do some work up on Camp C. Wakamano and meet with some vendors for work up there, and she was going to look at that. And as I discussed with you, Jim, I thought maybe we could collaborate there where our Town of Olive sign is, and maybe come up with a new signage on our part and keep it all within that proximity, and where our sign is currently and has been installed, which is on private property. And I did speak with Roger Berry, the property owner there, yesterday, and I told him the complaint that was lodged. And what we're dealing with, and I said, maybe we can come up with an agreement and have a central location for both of our signs, the Y Camp and the Town of Olive Meeting Hall, Court and Police. And he seemed pretty receptive, and I said I would follow up with him on that. And I'm just waiting a response from Nicole. Unfortunately, the new Y Camp sign was a donation to the Y, and I don't know who funded it, but it was a donation, and unfortunately, it is impeding line of sight there. So we're gonna come up with a plan there to mitigate that, and I'm hoping I can hear from Nicole. Otherwise, I'll give her a call tomorrow, and we'll follow up on that and see if we can address that.
Okay. What else you got there?
I have, I'll be honest with you, March was a crazy month with wind events, as probably everybody knows in town. Power outage. We had a ton of trees down and whatnot. The guys have been working a lot of storms, plenty of overtime and whatnot. In that respect, we've been addressing a lot of trimming of roadside brush and danger trees, danger as we've been continuing on primarily in Olive Bridge, Upper Sampsonville area. We spent a lot of time, a lot of dangerous trees. We've been dealing with that. We just yesterday actually finished up with our cleaning of all the roads in town. So that went very quickly this year. The equipment held up well, and we were able to move right through that this year. All the roads have been swept, and that's a great thing. We're moving on to the construction season here, and it's a little bit early yet. And I think we got a little bit of another douse of nasty weather at the end of the week, and hopefully not. But anyway, we're in pretty good shape there. And Jim, I don't know if you want to speak, and I know I want to just touch on, we had that recent application into the CWC for Burger Road. I wanted to discuss that a little bit. We were approved for not the original funding, but the application was tabled from back in I want to say February, and we did receive approval of $538,825 for replacement of the Burger Road crossing, which is fantastic, and I got to commend our supervisor Jim, the support in this, and that the help. I want to reach out to our Olive Fire Department and Olive First Aid. They supported us with a letter of support, and basically I just want to point out this was a kind of an interesting application at first in my capacity to the CWC, but it was more of a safety issue there, and that's kind of where I wanted to focus. It's a dead end road. There's 7 residents there. There's a potential for future build there on property, but moving forward, this has been a problematic site for years. As a highway employee of 20 plus years, we've been at that location numerous times for whether it be overtopping one lane road going out or whatever it may be. Anyway, this was recommended in the LFA, and that was part of the design and engineering that was funded, that was bundled with Upper Boyceville, De Silver Road, Burger Road. So it's kind of off now, and it's great. And I got to thank the CWC for funding this project. And there's more to come down the road, but certainly this has been another problematic area for years in the town of Olive, and we were able to address Upper Boyceville and De Silva this year, and we have Red Maple and Vostok crossings in the preliminary stages of engineering and design, and looking forward to mitigating the issues in those 2 areas. It's been a problem for years and years, but other than that, that's about all I have. We're like I said, getting into the construction season again, and our roads, I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of them that are in shambles, but I think we fared really well this winter. And as far as damage from plowing and and whatnot. So, but
Brian, I wanted to ask you, you had some things that you were thinking about putting on auction. Did you want to talk about them?
I did, and this is something I wanted to bring up, and I think per highway law and whatnot, it's kind of due diligence. I think it's supposed to be approved by the town board, and I know in the past, a lot of our stuff that we have auctioned off and that I have brought up, it's not big money stuff, but I said a lot of this equipment has reached its time frame of serving the Town of Olive Highway Department, and we have one truck that I budgeted for back in 2019. We ordered a 2021 Western Star. Tomorrow, finally, we are taking delivery, and obviously, and anybody, whether it be in the building, the construction world, everything is so displaced, and it's been frustrating on my end. I was hoping to have that truck back September of 2020. But however, I understand that a lot of the equipment on this truck is come from over borders, Canada and whatnot, and I know how it all works. But anyway, just to reference back to what we're looking to auction off, and we've had a great the stuff that we have auctioned in the past on these auction sites, we've got great return money on. But this truck that we're replacing is a 1999 International dump truck. The truck has served us well, but we're looking to rotate that out of our fleet. I have some miscellaneous stuff, as I said, is kind of like surplus, some old truck stock, some leaf springs that odds and ends stuff like that. We have some old spreader gates that we used to do chip sealing with years ago that I had on a prior auction that didn't bring any money. I'm looking to see if we can't get at least scrap money out of them and then move them off our property and make room. But other than that, the main item is the 1999 International dump truck. But
You need us to make a motion to approve
Yes.
that to go to auction?
yes, and like I said, moving forward, if any other departments in the town has anything in the future, surplus stuff, feel free to contact me, and we can get this stuff on, whether it's me doing it or when we have a group, a lot of stuff to dispose of, I'd be more than happy to do it.
Anybody want to make that motion?
Make the motion to approve the auctioning of the 97 dump truck.
99.
99 dump truck. What's the title? Does it matter?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? So moved. Anything else from you, Mr. Burns?
That is it.
Okay,
When do you see the Burger Crossing getting done?
Do you know what? I'll be honest with you, because this was tabled a couple months, and I don't know if it's realistic that we can get it off this year. I would like to say so. Actually in contact with Ashokan Watershed, because we have another application with them for construction supervision, bid assistance and whatnot with this project, and this is all part of it. But it is possible to get off this year. I'm not saying I would, if I had to say realistically, it would be for the 22 construction season, but it may be possible to get this off yet this year.
As long as we're getting it done, that's great.
Yes.
do you think it'll go out to bid this year?
Do you know what? I think it would be in the best interest if there's time constraints to wait till next year, just
Okay.
because of material expenses and whoever's bidding it, whatnot, there's all variables in that respect, but I'm going to push to make it happen this year, and I hope to see it happen. This application, we did a couple different things just to reflect back on and get a little more involved. The original application was for $660,000. Basically, CWC wanted a little more information, a little more documentation on this. We did provide that, and I thought something that we could do in-kind services was the clearing and grubbing on the site and the temporary crossing to do in-house, and that was in the neighborhood of I want to say it was $35,000 in-kind work. So that reflected in the application, the second application, I will say. So that's something that we, the Town of Olive Highway Department, will be doing part of this project to reduce the expense of the application to the CWC. So I think we've kind of done our due diligence and done what we could do to pull this off here. And like I said, I want to thank Jim and the Olive First Aid, the Olive Fire Department, and everybody, my secretary. It's been a lot of work, and it's been in the making for a couple of years here now, and I'm looking forward to seeing it get done.
So I just want to make a comment on that, and you and I spoke a little bit about this, and that is that I see these projects come before CWC very often, and what is important is documenting, and you and I spoke about documenting storm events in the future
Absolutely.
for all of the areas that we have problems with, so that when we go to a project and we look back, we have documentation of storm events through photographs and narratives, reports and things. And it's also important, what sold this project was I went through the process of the LFA to the CWC and explained to them how these projects are identified by a citizen group, a flood committee, and then put into the flood analysis that is done by an engineering firm. And that further along those lines, we had the Ashokan Watershed provide us with analysis and funding for pre-design and engineering, and all of that stuff. You know, we've established this kind of procedure that we have to follow to enable us to get these fundings. You know, if we didn't follow that, it would be very easy for a grantor to say, you haven't done your due diligence. So I think it's an important lesson that we've learned and that we can hold to.
Absolutely. And like you said, Jim, moving forward, I said, just in my capacity, I said a lot of these storm events in the heat of the moment, you don't get time. But if I can kind of direct the guys, and whether it be on a cell phone, take pictures, whatever, so we can document these sites, problematic sites in town, and just kind of stockpile this information and better support funding in the future. And like I said, I appreciate the hard work, Jim, and your capacity too on this project, and be great to see this move on.
Yep, I think it's going to be good. All right, where are we moving to next? Let's go to Drew and the Police Commission.
Good question. Only wrap one thing. The Police Commission is moving forward with addressing the 9 items on the Police Task Force suggestions to do. They've done, I don't know how many of them they were tackled, but they've at least got, that's on their agenda to get done. I believe, I don't remember, I know they ordered a car last year. I believe they're supposed to be receiving it this month. I'm not positive on that. And Brian, I don't know, they didn't discuss what they were going to do with the 4th car, but they may be coming to you for doing the auction on it. I'm not sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. Dawn, did you get a report from Police Chief?
Before
I
you give
did.
the report, I just want to say that I did attend the Coffee with a Cop on Sunday, and it was okay attended. It was kind of a soft start, and it was Sunday morning, and we had 3 Olive policemen there with 2 cars, and we got to meet some residents and interact with the police department, and we also had a couple of kids that got to sit in police cars and turn the lights and siren on, and
Oh, cool.
even I thought that was exciting. So
Yeah, good.
great.
Okay, so you ready?
Go ahead, Dawn.
All right, year to date, they've had 205 calls. Total for February was 68. I'm thinking this is supposed to be March. I think he didn't change it. Total for March, 68. There were 4 vehicle accidents, 4 burglar alarms, animal complaints, 6, medical assists, 8, Fire call 1, agency assist 4, domestic dispute 3, vehicle operation complaint 10, suspicious activity 3, welfare check 5, found lost property 2, security checks 312, disputes 5, fraud 2, road hazard 7, burglary 2, paper serve 2. They had 21 traffic tickets and 1 arrest, and I'm assuming it may be for an AUO. I do have the court stuff, but he had a, bear with me because I have to bring it back up on my phone because he sent it to me late. The court activities for the month, they had, for penal law, they had 0 felonies, they had 14 misdemeanors and 13 violations, 9 environmental law, 1 ag and markets, vehicle traffic tickets processed 95, aggravated unlicensed operation 12, driving while intoxicated 13, 4 UPMs, which is marijuana, 5 drug offenses, total defendants 45, total visitors 5. And court has reopened with COVID protocol remains in effect. Masks must be worn and masks are provided to those without one, along with social distances observed in the courtroom. Town prosecutor continues to litigate traffic tickets written by state police. And that's that.
Good, thank you.
Great. Thank you.
I will move on to me since I'm next on the list.
You're next there, Dawn. Yeah.
All right, so real property taxes collected in March were 229,322.90. Just so you know, I'll be picking up the reminder notices for everybody that will go out in May for those that have not paid. We've received interest and penalties, $3,470.90. The total took in by the town clerk's office was $65,103.47. $40,774.56 of that was franchise fees. And that's it for me. I got the fire department, which had a total of 30 calls. They had 2 auto accidents, 4 structure fires, mutual aid, 2 to Phoenicia, 1 to West Turley, and 2 to Woodstock, automatic alarm 3, smoke investigation 1, wires down 13, EMS 2, EMS assist rescue 2, for total 30 calls. And this month, that's 1 a month, one a day. And this month, only for 13 days, they already have 11 calls. So Christopher told me that so far this month. I have Olive First Aid, had 33 calls, 15 to Shokan, 11 to Olive Bridge, Boysville 3, Sampsonville 3, and Shandaken 1. I did not get Barry Rulin's report this month. Maybe he just sent it late, but I did not get it yet.
I didn't see it.
Okay, I'm done.
Great. Thank you, Dawn. Drew, anything on scenic byway?
A couple of things, just briefly. There's still Carol, who kind of runs the collaborative group. We're still trying to get the leadership group to meet because they're really the overseeing entity for the scenic byway, and they haven't really met in a couple of years now. Rob Stanley used to be kind of making that happen, but he has been not involved lately. And the other thing is there's an effort to try to extend the scenic byway up to maybe through Roxbury. Roxbury has shown interest in doing that. And I think West Hurley has also shown interest in joining the scenic byway. All of that takes going back to the state, which also means money. And that's one of the things that the scenic byway doesn't have at the moment is money. There was talk, and I believe they're doing this. They became aware that most towns are going to receive a significant amount of money from the federal rescue plan. So they're going to probably send a letter to the towns along the scenic byway asking for some of that money to be put on the scenic byway. Other than that, that's about it.
Okay. And The CAC, I am not the liaison on that.
I keep forgetting that. All right, I'm gonna change it right now. I'm sorry. I keep
Okay,
forgetting to change. It's that copy and paste stuff.
So you ready for me?
Yes.
yeah, we're ready. We're not going
We're
anywhere.
looking at engaging with Cornell University. They have students that work on climate change engagement and education, which will give us more points on the climate smart communities, as well as we're going to start looking at engaging the clean energy communities program as well, which actually has even more monies tied directly to it as you reach the various levels of goals that they have. We're really just starting to get into that. Matt Kovner is leading that as well because it intersects to a large extent with the climate smart communities. We got a list of vacant lands from Jim, and we're going to start analyzing that to try to advise the town on how to engage with the DEP land acquisition program, and for that 5-year contract that's coming up. Let's see, we're investigating funding opportunities for the open space inventory, which is again our core goal. Now that the NRI is in place and adopted and has already come to be used successfully, we want to definitely keep moving on that.
I will say that I do want to compliment the OCC for providing us with the narrative that helped in the response to the pumped storage project. That was very helpful. It became part of my letter to them. So I do want to thank those guys, not guys, everyone on that committee, our council for that.
Yeah, Dan did most of the legwork on that one, but he did a good job. But that NRI really leads to be able to do that kind of document fairly quickly and comprehensively. So that's been a real benefit. We also have an associate member, Donna Crawford, who has lots of contacts in the environmental education and outreach areas, and we're looking at starting a education program, probably the first session in June, which I think was focused on gardening, and then other sessions to go on through the fall, particularly as having groups gets more and more viable. And that's the meat of what I have.
Yeah, I can say from my perspective, and I would think the board would be, supportive of this, is that the priority right now is to get that Hamlet thing done. I know we got it in your hands late, and we have a deadline, and I didn't realize there was a public hearing involved in it if we decide to make a change. So we really do need kind of all hands on deck for that. And it does fit in with the open space part of your priority. So that would be very, very helpful.
We're getting on it.
What's the drop dead date on that, Jim?
I don't have that in
June,
front of me.
but-
I want to say it's June 20th or something like that, or June 16th. It's mid-June.
Okay, so we can, bottom line is we could handle it at our June town board meeting if we have to.
Right, but we have to have a public hearing and come back, so we'll have to look at that a little more closely.
Okay,
I'll look at that later in the week and see.
You could do the public hearing and then before the June meeting.
Right.
And then vote on it if you want.
But they might not be able to get it done by then, so we might need to have a public hearing at a meeting late mid-June or something to accommodate their ability to get it done. It's a lot to do.
okay.
We'll do our best to wrap it up. Maybe even we'll aim to have at least a preliminary report by the next meeting. It may not be complete, but at least there's a lot we can do without actually, going out to the sites with maps and the NRI and other
Okay.
resources that the county has for us.
Again, I'll reiterate, my concern about it is that we have to make as a town board a decision on whether we want to continue the 5-year rule for land acquisition in the hamlets in the town. And we have the ability to change that in each hamlet to a fair degree. of limiting the size of the parcels, saying no parcels can be acquired. And then the other option we also have is to say townwide that we want to allow the DEP the ability to purchase vacant land in the 100-year floodplain anywhere in town. And I think that that's a very attractive option, but I do need us to also think about that and see what that means. Because there are people in town that can't sell the land because of the restriction on it. They just won't be able to sell it. It's going to sit there vacant, and they're stuck. So it's something I want us all to think about. The other thing is we could also say in Shokan has a parameter of a status due to their proximity to the lower basin where the portal is to New York City. They're within the 60-day travel to New York to that portal. That means that right now, the land acquisition in Shokan is 1 acre, 1 acre minimum. So Shokan, we're going to be getting a wastewater treatment facility, and we might want to look at that and say, no, you can't buy land in Shokan. That might get some people upset, but it might also spur economic growth in that community, that land can be sold for a variety of reasons for development. I think that's kind of goes hand in hand with that wastewater treatment facility. I think there's opportunity there for the town to grow economically and for housing. But that's just my opinion right now. Having that data will help us determine how many properties we'll be affecting and what they look like and whether they're viable. And we don't want to, there might be situations where there's an acre and a quarter of swampland that's, never going to sell anyway. So we need to kind of look at these things and kind of evaluate what our decision would mean.
Jim, any chance of getting like a month of extension on this with CWC?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
This is pretty much written into the law of all of the, the rules of the MOA.
Okay.
And FAD. So I don't think we can change that very easily.
We'll do our best to get it done.
Okay. Anything else, David?
No, that's it for CAC at least.
Okay, Drew, you're up for zoning there.
Okay. I don't really have anything to add from what I said last night. We're, like I said, we believe we got a decent STR regulation. Once Jim takes a look at it, if he gives the okay, I'm going to try to send it off to the county for their next meeting in May. I'm waiting also for the county's written response back to our changes to the zoning code. And when I get that, I'll try to get with the zoning committee to alter that code, and then hopefully we can start moving towards public hearing and adopting it.
Great. Technology.
The website didn't get launched on the first. We're making changes. Diana's been really leading that charge with the offices there to get exactly what they want it to look like and content-wise before we launch. I think we're actually aiming now for closer to May 1st. I believe she has all those changes in. I have actually one set of changes I need to do for the CAC that I'm actually a little late on. So I'll have those in soon. So then you guys got to see the mock-up from Whitwick. I believe Diana sent that out.
And I had forwarded her some things that I found that were kind of weird, but I think she addressed them or would be.
Okay.
But I encourage everybody on the board to take a look at that and see if there's something that looks weird. It's better. It's one of those things that just only helps to have more eyes on it.
Always. There's places you guys will probably go that we would never even think to hit, so, or to look at. So if you guys can look, that would be appreciated.
So, there's two elements there. We'll be looking at the design and scope and how that whole thing works and the accessibility of it. But we'll also be looking, like in content, like I went and saw some content that ended up in there that's like, that's not really accurate, you know? So there's two things to look for. As
I don't think that was the final scrape of what we had either. I mean, that's still part of the project is getting everything in there. But so that's the plan, is to have it sooner than later, hopefully this month or the end of
Okay.
this month.
Yep, Jim, on that note, did you send them the digital version you have of the zoning map from 75? To put on the website?
I did not. I am I'm picking that map up. It's being printed in a larger format tomorrow. And I want to have it to look at, and you and I can go over it and see if it's accurate,
Okay,
you know, according to the map that Dawn has in the office. So I don't want to make any quick rash decisions here.
Did you say they were digitizing it as well?
It is digitized.
Okay, great.
But we need to, and then once we look at it with Dawn's map and say, wow, yeah, this is the 1975 map. It was approved by the town board. If we can do that on our own, then we're golden. If we need, you know, more work on it, then we're gonna have to look elsewhere.
what would be really handy for John and the zoning board and the planning board, and probably ourselves, is if we could figure out a way to have that overlaid onto the parcels map.
That would be the goal, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And to have hard copies made. But
Yeah.
first, we need to really determine that we don't want to make the same mistake they made in 99
Right,
and have a map that has, we need to check all of the boundaries and make sure nothing has changed from the 75 map. That map we're using is accurate. We just can't keep going on without knowing for certain what we're working with.
right.
And I think the next thing I'm going to try to tackle with technology committee is coming up with a good Facebook policy and launch a town Facebook page. Becoming increasingly obvious that we need a better way of communicating. With the pumped hydro, it would have been nice. You know, we have a lot of people that are pretty active and have sites that they put things out on, but I'm not sure what the saturation in town is of those sites. You know, if a lot of people are signing up for all the community, and it's just it's all over the place. So it'd be good to have an official page. And then the trickiest part there is, I think, going to be identifying who is going to be primarily responsible for that page, for keeping it up.
Hey, anything else?
That's it for technology right now.
All right, buildings and grounds, Scott.
We did not meet, planning on meeting sometime in May, but it's been a struggle. But Gino wants to chime in about his Lime Energy audit to share what he did. I think that could be some value there.
Yeah, certainly. I sent you and Jim, as you saw, probably, met with Lime Energy the other day, did a walkthrough of the highway garage and the courthouse. Summarize, it's very favorable for the highway garage to be upgraded to LED lighting with a substantially minimal cost to the town. The estimated cost of the project is around $7,400, I believe, and a 71% reimbursement. So our cost would be around $2,400 to convert the entire highway garage to LED lighting. So
Do they have
I
any
need you-
estimate on energy savings from that change?
the return on the investment is less than a year. He is working out what the estimated savings would be in cost. But we all know that obviously LED is far more efficient. I will tell you this, which spurred the reason I did this, is all the bulbs in that highway garage are T5s. If you're familiar with a T5, I know Jim is, and possibly Scott. They're almost an obsolete bulb and they cost a fortune. And they really don't offer, any more light than, a T8. But anyway, we're replacing ballasts and bulbs on a regular basis here, and Brian could attest that we got some dark areas as well. So I know it's a savings and I know there's a cost up front, but for $2,400, like I said, the return on investment is 12 months, actually a little bit less. To me, it's a no-brainer. But I'd like you guys to look over what I sent Jim and Scott, Obviously, you guys can share it, talk it over. I told the gentleman from Lime Energy that a decision wouldn't be made for the month of April, but we would certainly possibly be in a position to move forward with it in May. The courthouse did not currently qualify. And those of you who know this, it goes by operating hours. And obviously, the courthouse is minimal use. The highway garage had a window of, on a regular basis, certain months of the year, 4 a.m. to like 4 p.m. So that's what really brought us to the threshold to get 71% reimbursement.
Hey, Gene, will those replacements for the T5s, will they be brighter or as bright?
He said as bright, if not a little brighter. So what they're gonna do, Jim, and you're really knowledgeable, they're gonna use the same fixture. They're gonna take out the ballast and insert drivers and then put the LED
Right,
strips in place of the T5s.
makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
When you get that all done, could you make sure to that we get the documentation for that for the CAC to apply for points for both the programs that we're tracking?
Sure. Obviously, the proposal would be the first document. And I think it attached, it segmented the building, but any documentation for it, I'll certainly forward to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, they will, I believe they'll be submitting the proposal with the energy savings in it. They usually do that.
And I also included, just as a, and I know it's a bigger project, but I included the cold storage building as well, Brian. I figured, you know what, we'll relamp it. I'm not sure where we're gonna be with building that building, but if nothing else, it'll have some bright light in it while it still exists.
Did they give any estimate for doing the courthouse, even though they weren't going to
It
be
didn't
interested in
even,
funding?
he is trying, because we classified it as a police station, so with some, lack of a better term, massaging, he believes possibly the operating hours would be enhanced. He wanted, I told him that we have 2 shifts of police coverage. So rather than call it a courthouse or meeting hall, he's calling it a police station. And he wants to see what that brings as far as reimbursement. We already converted the outside lighting to LED. And we've also done the lobby and the new bathrooms with LED bulbs. So those would be excluded. The only areas that would be covered would be the conference room, the court clerk's office, and the main room in the building. So it's based on operating hours is really what it comes down to.
Nice.
Okay. Anything else in buildings and grounds?
No.
I meant to, when I jumped in with the hydro project, the pump storage, I did mean to read the letter from Mr. Rojas that we received today, dated yesterday. And it was addressed to Kimberly Bowes, the Secretary of FERC in Washington, D.C., regarding the premium energy pump storage project that we've all been talking about. And it says, "Dear Secretary Bowes, Premium Energy Holdings, Premium Energy requests to withdraw the preliminary permit application for the Ashokan pump storage project. Our request is mainly due to the social impact the proposed project reservoirs would cause. Once a more suitable location is identified, Premium Energy may file a new application for a PSH project." Then it goes on to ask if there's any questions, you can contact him. Signed, Victor Rojas, Managing Director of Premium Energy Holdings. So that was a triumph for all of the efforts that people put forth. And I just want to thank so many people. I could start, we'd never get done tonight, but I appreciate the support of the town. I appreciate the support of all of the organizations and all of the residents who banded together to put this, push this over the goal line. When I spoke to the resident group, the Catskill, Save Catskills Preserve, about 2 weeks ago, I said, my goal would be to see this thing have 1,000 comments on the FERC site, because that would be a very persuasive thing to have an applicant remove the application. And on Sunday, this past Sunday, I said to Sharon, I think we're going to make the 1,000. We're almost there. And when the permit comments were closed on Monday, last night, we had 1,500 comments. So I think everyone was very pleased, and I really commend everyone who worked on this. It was a really long and arduous campaign, but people pulled it together.
Okay, I forgot to put Vicky on there for planning board report.
Uh-oh.
I will make that
Dan.
change.
So the planning board has been meeting twice a month for the last few months. The first meeting is for regular planning board business, and the second one is about the Sailor Middle project. They are not meeting a second time this month because they had asked for some more studies from the developer, and they haven't gotten any of that. So that's going to be put off until the second meeting in May. There's going to be a public hearing on the McMillan Road tent project at the next planning board meeting, the second week in May.
How many campsites is that?
Two.
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 And that's the second, what, Tuesday in May, you said?
Yes.
Third, isn't it?
This is the second, right?
Could be the
Right.
first-
Ours is on the second. They
Yeah,
do
it'll be
first
on
and
the-
third.
It'll be the first
First Tuesday of the month.
Tuesday of the month.
First Tuesday.
Yes.
And that had been scaled down to 2 sites, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay,
It was originally 4.
right.
Well, it was originally 2 tent platforms and then 2 campsites. They've gotten rid of the campsites and just have the 2 tent platforms in their proposal. The planning board went out and looked at the site. And I think, Brian, did you go?
Yes,
Yeah.
myself and the fire chief,
Right.
Chris Winnie, and the planning board members, yes.
Um,
Were issues of water and wastewater discussed?
Yes. Yeah,
That's
just-
been being discussed. They're talking about having 50-gallon drums of water. And I think there are some fire concerns. I know there's some neighbors that are concerned, so the public hearing should be interesting.
Okay,
And that's about it.
and I just want to reiterate the earlier correspondence we got from Gregory Keys. I also got a phone call or two in the last month or two. Neighbors are concerned about the process on Sailor Mill Road. They want to make sure that their voices are being heard and it's not slanted one way or the other. But, I just want to make sure that we're all aware of that.
Yeah, well, there were a lot of allegations from folks. Yeah.
Okay,
I think the planning board members are very aware that those things are being said.
I'm sure the letters are getting through to them. Or I
Oh, yeah.
see them as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
all
about it.
right. Anything else from anyone?
No,
Nope.
Oh, you guys are getting off easy tonight. Actually took longer than I thought. Okay, I'd like to adjourn the meeting in memory of Ralph Matera, Bonnie Delora, and Gerard Mackey. I did want to say for Jerry Mackey, I believe we sent flowers, right, Dawn?
I did see a voucher for it, yes.
Yeah,
Matt,
we sent
and it's
flowers.
Mackie.
That is Erla
Erla's.
Fleek's son. So we sent to Erla some flowers for that. Okay, do I have a motion to close?
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
Helene, Ralph Matera's wife, has been talking with Bruce about doing something in his honor sometime this summer. And
Okay,
Possibly at Marty's Mercantile.
okay, great.
Oh, one thing on planning board, we just have the one person of interest so far that has expressed interest for the open spot.
Yes.
We have one in conversation I talked to who had expressed some interest and said that they would send something in.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
So that'll be for next meeting, right? Deciding which of them.
Yep.
Excellent.
Okay,
right?
Okay.
Nothing
Got a
else?
second?
Motion to adjourn.
A second.
Wait, I gotta get a second.
I second.
Vicky.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you all, and you have a
Aye,
lovely
everybody.
Good night, folks.
All right.
Good night.
See you Thursday.